Let's create teleportation effect in the easiest way ever. I hope every low-budget filmmaker will love it. Hey guys, it's Gaba VR. I'm a 360 content creator and photographer, publishing travel videos and tutorials about 360 photo and video techniques. I think 360 cameras have a great potential in traditional filmmaking too, and you can find many tutorials on my channel about how we can use this technique really creatively. And now let's jump into another one, literally. The basic idea of this technique came from watching a tutorial by Cinecam.net about the teleportation effect in the movie Jumper. They used the motorized slider and camera head, but what if I say we can achieve the same pen and tilt stop motion effect without having to move the camera? Basically, it's a really easy camera trick when you're shooting with a still camera from a tripod. You take an empty shot and then you place your actor in one place, then in another. And as your camera doesn't move between the shots, you can easily cut these things together. But the scenes like in the Jumper movie are a little bit different. The camera doesn't stay still, but you can see it panning, tilting or zooming. To combine a moving camera shot with stop-motion technique, we have to repeat exactly the same camera movements over and over again, unless we have a 360 camera. Exactly! Looking at this technique, it just came to my mind that I could do the same thing in a low budget much easier with a 360 camera. In every situation I'd need at least a camera body with a lens, a camera stand and a motion-controlled pen and tilt head. But this setup could grow with a zoom or follow focus system, motion control slider and whatever. Actually, it's a kind of stop-motion trick with some movements, but shooting with a 360 camera, we can make it without having to move the camera during shooting, and it's much easier. Now I show you this scene because maybe it has the most spectacular panning and tilting effect with the biggest distances. Keeping the original idea of this teleportation effect, I will jump every time when I change location. So I put my 1X on a tripod, I record an empty shot and then I start recording the action. First I go up to the bridge and simply jump. Then I come down, climb the wall and I play around with another jump. And finally I jump again on the top of the other wall. As you could see in the Cinecam.net tutorial, shooting with a traditional camera, timing is really important. You should jump at the right moment, unless you can't put the different takes together. But shooting with a 360 camera, it's a still shot, so I don't have to worry about timing. All I need is to record the empty shot, all the jumps, and that's all. I do the rest in post. I import everything in Premiere, and I will create all the panning, tilting and zooming during post-production. I have the empty shot on the bottom and I drag the first scene on the second track. First I select the beginning of the scene and make a cut in the middle of the jump. Then I drag the next action scene on the timeline. I pick up the best take. I make a cut in the middle of the jump, but now I will use the second part of it. It won't be a long scene because here comes another teleportation. So I cut in the middle of the jump again. Finally, I have the third location on the wall. I just cut that jump too. Playing this sequence, you can see me jumping all around the scene. I can play around with transitions and this time I create an easy one. I just create a mask and animate it around the subject. I create keyframes to expand the feather and fade out the end of the half jump. And I do the same thing in every scene in the beginning and the end. Okay, now we have quite a simple stop-motion scene, just like I showed you with a traditional camera. It's really easy, but here comes the magic. I create an estate sequence, so from now this whole edited scene will behave like a single video clip on the timeline. And now I apply GoPro Reframe plugin. That's how I can turn the flat spherical video in 360, where I can look around and of course I can create keyframes adding camera movements in post. So my starting point is on the bridge. I zoom in a little bit and start pan and tilt the camera. I will start panning around counterclockwise. As I have a nested sequence with all the scenes merged into one clip, now you can see the teleportation effect too. And this will be the final camera position at the end of the first part of the scene. Actually, this is the fake camera move that I could have done in real with a motion controlled pan and tilt camera head if I had been shooting with a traditional gear. But now I change the order and I make every single camera movement during post-production. And I can keep on working with the next teleportation, and so on. And as you can see, there are gunshots in the original movie. I just add such an effect to this video too. This is just a tutorial, so I don't make it too complicated. I just get a simple green screen explosion footage. I double click on the nested sequence and I can see all the raw materials. I draw the explosion footage on the top and apply Ultra key and click on the green. Now I resize and position the explosion, and of course I set up the perfect timing too. When I turn back to the final editing window, I can see that this effect is in the 360 space. I guess this is the easiest and cheapest way to recreate this teleportation effect or record motion control scenes. I hope you will try and like this technique, and if you do, please thumbs up, and for further 360 contents and tutorials, subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time!